be talking to you guys about my pregnancy and my labor testimony. Okay, so let's start. Okay, let's start with my pregnancy. So I had been wanting to get pregnant for years at this point. Probably about 5 years. 5 years ago, I had a bad miscarriage, and I had a miscarriage. All miscarriages are bad. So anyway, I had a miscarriage 5 years ago, and ever since then, I have been trying to get pregnant again and again, and then I did, and eventually I did, but I miscarried early on. So, at this point in my life, I was kind of depressed. I wasn't depressed to the point where it was like you can see me and you can see that I'm depressed. I was just more so like depressed in the inside, where like if I would see a baby, or if I would see a baby, or if I heard about somebody getting pregnant, I would be so upset and so sad, and I would cry every single time. Every single time I heard somebody getting pregnant, or if I saw a baby, I wouldn't cry at that moment like around people, but I would cry like later on in that day, because it would still be on my mind. So fast forward to now. Well, fast forward to like 9 months ago. Or probably more than that. Let's say just like a year ago. Like a year ago around this time, I got engaged, and I realized I was turning 29, almost 30, and I still hadn't had a baby. So I started to pray about it. I was praying about it every single day. I was praying about it. I was asking God, like Lord, like, what do I have to do to prove myself that I'm worthy of carrying a baby? And then I would ask, like, is it that you don't trust me with a baby? That's why I don't have a baby? Like, what is it? Like, what is it? Because I really needed to know. So I'm sorry I'm all over the place. I'm just going off the top of my head with this story. I should have like wrote down notes, but I didn't. I just wanted to get this over with. But anyway, I wanted to do this video and get it over with. So yeah, I was asking the Lord, like, why, like, why am I not getting pregnant? Why, like, why can't I have a baby? Like, I wanted a baby so desperately at this point. I even got a dog. Because I wanted a baby that bad. So I went and got a dog. And that was like my baby. But a dog and a baby, it's not the same. Like, even though it was still my baby, like, it's still not the same as having an actual baby. So I was praying about it. Everybody would always ask us, like, because me and my fiance, we've been together for a long time. Like, we've been together our whole adult life, like 18 to now. We've been together this long. But anyway, we've been together, and everybody would always ask us, like, when are y'all getting married? Like, two questions that people ask us all the time is when we're getting married and when we're having a baby. That's the questions that we get every single time. And sorry, I feel like I'm going too fast. But anyway, so that they would ask us, like, our friends and family would ask us, like, when we're getting married, when we're having a baby. And the baby word, like, I was in such a I don't know how to say it, like a gentle state or like a fragile state about the word baby. Or like if somebody would ask me when we're having a baby, I was in such a fragile state but nobody could see it. I would hide it from everybody else, and I would cry to myself, and I would be really sad every time somebody asked me about a baby, or like when we having a baby, because I was trying to have a baby. Um so yeah, so around this time last year, I was praying. I was really seeking God. I was seeking him so much so to where it was like when I woke up, I prayed. Like, I had a routine going on. Like, I woke up earlier, like in the day. I woke up earlier just so I could like spend time with God, and then I would go to, and before I went to bed, I would spend time with God, and then in the middle of the day, I would spend time with God. Like, I made sure I spent time with God. I was talking to God constantly throughout the day. I still do. um and I forgot what was the name of the scripture, but a scripture kept coming to me, and it was saying, "Seek God, and He will give you the desires of your heart." So I was seeking God so much, so to the point where, okay, oh, hold on, guys, I got it on. Okay, so this is like a continuation of the video, because my mom was calling me on that last video, and part of the video got cut off. Like, most of the video got cut off, and I was like, oh my god, I don't want to redo it. So I'm just gonna tell you guys like this. But so what I was saying in the last part of this video was, yes, seek God and He will give you the desires of your heart. So I was seeking God so much, like so much. My world revolved around God. Like, in the morning, I woke up earlier in the morning so I could spend time with God. I spent time with God. I talked to God throughout the whole entire day. And before I went to bed, I talked to God and I prayed. And I was praying constantly, like all day. I was praying. So eventually, I had forgotten all about having a baby. Like, I hadn't forgotten about it, but it wasn't on my mind like how it was before. Like I feel like my desire to have a baby wasn't like how it was when I first started seeking God. My desire now has started to be, I needed to seek God, and I still seek God all the time. Like, I talk to him, like I need him in my life. Like, you need God, cuz yeah. But so so I was seeking God. I had forgotten all about having a baby, honestly. Um well, let me stop saying I had forgotten about having a baby. It wasn't on my mind to have a baby anymore. Um so we were living in a 3-bedroom townhouse. Granted, we moved to that 3-bedroom townhouse because I knew that I wanted to have a child, and I was like, so we're gonna move here and then just live here until we're ready to like live in a house. Well, I hadn't had a child. I hadn't gotten pregnant, and like I said, we like having a baby wasn't on my mind anymore. So me and my fiance started talking about like living somewhere where it's like smaller, because we had 2 rooms that we never went in. Like, it was like 2-3 months I would go without going into the extra 2 rooms that we had, because it was just me, Joe, and our dog. So we decided to move somewhere nicer. Like, the place where we were staying wasn't bad, but it wasn't as nice as it is over here. So we decided to move over here, where we're at now. And we decided to move to a 1-bedroom, because it was like, I was like, it makes sense to like just for us to live in a 1-bedroom. So we moved in June. Also I got a job in June as well. So I got a new job in June, and we also moved in June. And I also was diagnosed with diabetes in June. This is important. It's important because I was already 6 weeks pregnant. The first week of July, I got COVID, and the symptoms, yes, I had COVID, but I also had other symptoms, like I was feeling like nauseous, and I had a headache, I was dizzy. And those weren't like COVID symptoms that I was feeling. So it was like something else was wrong. So something told me to like take a pregnancy test. So I'm at home. I'm on DoorDash, about to order some stuff from Walgreens to make me feel a little better. And then something just said, order a pregnancy test. So I ordered a pregnancy test, and I ordered a pregnancy test, and it came with two. It came with two pregnancy tests. One one pregnancy test, the first one that I took, it said error. So I was like, oh, it said error. Wow. So then I took the next one. I took the other one, and then it said pregnant. And I was like, pregnant? And I was like, nah, can't be. Then I started thinking about it some more, and I'm like, Lord, like, don't, like, am I pregnant, Lord? Like, that's how I was thinking, like, am I pregnant? Also, Joe's birthday is on the 23rd of July. So after I took that pregnancy test, what did I do? I called my sister, and I was like, girl, I just took a pregnancy test, and it just said pregnant. And I'm just like, I don't know for sure if I'm pregnant or not, but it just say pregnant. And I was like, can you give me another pregnancy test? So she brought me another pregnancy test. And I took it again, and it said pregnant again, girl. So after that, I called the next day. I called, and this was also over me. I was also in the midst of getting over COVID as well. So I called I called the doctor to set up an appointment to go to the doctor to make sure I was pregnant, because I'm like, I done took two pregnancy tests and it said I'm pregnant. So also so I went to the doctor right before it was Joe's birthday, and if I was pregnant, I wanted to surprise Joe with me being pregnant. So for his birthday. So I went to the doctor, and they gave me the pregnancy test, and girl, like I was talking to the nurse about how, like, I'm not sure if I'm pregnant or not. I just want to make sure I'm not. And she was like, girl, yeah, you pregnant. Like, she was like, the test results came up real quick, and this line is dark as hell. Like, you are definitely pregnant. So I'm like, oh Lord, I'm pregnant. And I was so happy. I was happy, but I was like kind of scared. Because I don't want nothing to go wrong. So yeah, so I'm like, I'm pregnant, thank God. So I tell Joe, I took another pregnancy test. This time I took a pregnancy test that shows the word pregnant rather than the two lines, so that he know, like, I'm pregnant, so he won't be confused or anything like that. Because you know how boys are, like, you can take a pregnancy test and they'll have one line on it, and then show your boyfriend or whoever, and they'll believe you if you say, oh, I'm pregnant. They'll believe you because they don't know. But so that's what happened. And yeah, I was pregnant, girl. I was pregnant, and I was so happy, and I was thanking God. I was so thankful because, like, I couldn't believe that I was pregnant. So fast forward to my pregnancy. My pregnancy was pretty was pretty good. I had a pretty good pregnancy. The only thing with me was that I was a diabetic, but other than that, I was pretty good. I had a really smooth pregnancy until about the third trimester. In the third trimester, that's when I had to go to the doctor. I had to go to the doctor every single week before I had my baby. Um and I had to I had to be induced because because they let me know that I had to be induced because he was a big baby. He was big inside of me, and also he had a lot of fluid around him. So because of that, they were saying that I needed to be induced, and I wasn't I was kind of happy about being induced because I could tell Joe, because Joe also had started a new job, and I could tell him like the exact day that our baby was going to be born, so that he could take off that day, and we know for a fact this is the day, other rather than like when you go in like to go into labor on your own, and you don't really know. Like, he was supposed to be born March 17th, but what today is? Today is 17th? No, today is the 21st. But anyways, today is 21st of March. But anyway, he was supposed to be born March 17th, but he was born February 28th. But you know how like when when you like they give you the due date, your estimated due date, but I can't really tell Joe. Well, I can't really tell my fiance like, hey, you need to take off for March 17th, because what if nothing happens on March 17th or March 18th, or what if it happened like March 15th or something like that. So being induced was good for us because we knew the exact day. My induced date was February 28th, and um when I went in to go have him, when we went in, um they gave me 2 pills, one for my mouth, one went inside my vagina to start the induction. So so as soon as so okay so I was contracting. Okay, let me start over. So I was contracting this whole time. Like, this whole time, February 28th, I had been having contractions, but I didn't really feel them because I had so much fluid. I didn't feel the contractions. So when I got there and they hooked me up to the machine that watches me and the baby. They noticed that his heart rate kept dropping every time I contracted. So, and contractions are the worst. Like people was telling me about how contractions feel, but girl, it's the worst pain I've ever had to feel in my life. But yeah, but I didn't start feeling the contractions until after um my water broke. So when my water broke, that's when I started feeling the contractions, but I didn't feel them until then. And every time I contracted, I was I'm sorry, y'all. I'm lost in train of thoughts because I did this video already, but none of it got recorded because I'm recording on my phone, and my mama kept calling my phone. So I thought it was still recording, but it wasn't. Anyway, so every time I would contract, his heart rate would drop drastically, and I was contracting like my contractions was like 1 minute apart. Now they were 1 minute apart, but I was only 1.5 centimeters dilated. Like, I wasn't dilated enough for me to have those contractions coming like that. So I ended up getting an epidural because I couldn't take the pain no more. I really couldn't take the pain no more. So I'm going to go back to yesterday's video because I had started it over. You gonna see. But yeah, y'all, sorry about that. I had got a phone call and I'm recording this video with my phone. Anyway, So yeah, so I wouldn't recommend those contractions to my worst enemy, like for real. But after that I got the epidural. Okay, I got the epidural. My contractions came, like I couldn't feel them. But while I was contracting every minute, his heart rate was dropping. Every time I would have a contraction, his heart rate would drop, and it would be like a drastic drop, and then it'll go back to normal. Then it'll be a drastic drop, then it'll go back to normal. So, let me make sure this straight. Okay. So, after that happened, um, that's when, and I'm gonna insert a video. I'm gonna insert like footage, a little. I don't have a lot of footage of it, but I have a little bit of stuff. So, and I'm gonna insert that for you guys. But after that, they were like, they came in and they were like, we may have to do an emergency C-section on you because we don't like what we're seeing with this baby. Y'all, I was so scared because I did not want to have no C-section. Because I've seen people's stomach that has C-section. Like my stomach, as you can see, I just had my baby. But you best believe your girl is working on getting my stomach back down. But anyway, but girl, I've seen people who stomachs who had C-sections, and I didn't want that for myself. I did not want that. And that was pretty much the only thing I was thinking about. And I know that's kind of crazy. Like, why would I only be thinking about how I'm gonna look? Like, I need to be thinking about the health of my baby. But yeah, I was like, I don't want my stomach to look like that after no C-section. So yeah, so they were like, we may have to have an emergency C-section. But even though I couldn't feel the contractions, like I was still having the contractions, and his heart rate was still dropping every time I would contract. So they had came back in, like it was like about 5 minutes later, not even that long. And they went from a may have to have a emergency C-section to we gotta have an emergency C-section. So at this point, guys, I was scared, and I'm getting kind of emotional about it because I don't know why talking about it kind of brings up all of the emotions I was feeling. But I was scared because I had went through all of this, and now I might lose this baby. So yeah, I was thinking like, Lord, I'm like, Lord. That's what I was thinking, like, Lord, please, please, just Lord, please. I did not want to lose that baby, y'all. I worked so hard to have the baby. I wanted my baby. I wanted to keep my baby. So we had the emergency C-section, and I have like a little clip. My sister took a little video of me laying down while I was having a C-section. But anyway, we had a C-section, and he came out, and he wasn't dead. He was alive. He was crying. I heard him cry. And everything like that. And I was so happy because I was like, oh my God, like I got a baby. So I was so happy, y'all. I was so happy. I was like, thank you, Lord. Like, thank you. Like, thank you. Like, oh my God, this baby is perfect. He is so perfect, and he really is, y'all. Even to this day, he still is so perfect to me. So I was so excited. I was like, oh my God, like, yes, like I got a baby. So yeah, so my baby came. They sewed me back up. Y'all, I ended up throwing up twice in the process of having a C-section. Oh, and I was also afraid to have a C-section because I thought that I was gonna have to go under anesthesia, right? I thought I was gonna have to go under anesthesia and like be put to sleep. And y'all, I've been watching the videos about people who have anesthesia and go into surgery and they be under anesthesia and then they wake up and they just numb and they can't tell the doctor or nothing. They just wake up and they just in pain because the anesthesia.
Yeah.
I took a picture, put the time in there so you guys can know.
It's gonna be alright, baby.
Yeah.
Document it. That way you can show
Sure
him
you want
too.
it. No, I can't see. It's open.
It's gonna be alright. They professional.
No, I didn't see it. I didn't see it. I said, I just saw it. Yes, I do know how to do that.
A little bit. I feel a little bit.
I said, okay. Kendra Michael. And then I showed her what 5 minutes later.
You can't film any other procedure.
Oh, sorry.
After the baby comes out. Yeah.
I can't really see nothing. I can look right. Oh, okay. Huh? In your stomach.
Who's still in your stomach, baby? Who's still in your stomach?
It's open. My stomach open? Oh, Lord.
No, baby. No.
No, it ain't open.
Don't even worry.
You good, baby. You good. You good. You ain't gonna be able to feel nothing.
Everything is exactly the way it's supposed to be.
Okay.
Okay, so this is another continuation of the video that I was trying to record yesterday, girl. So what I was saying was I was watching videos. Oh, I'm sorry, y'all. I am so sorry, y'all. I'm new to this. I ain't true to this just yet, but give me a couple more videos and I'll get true to it. But yeah, so I was watching videos of like people who would go under anesthesia and then they would wake up and then they would just be numb and they couldn't say anything or anything like that because they'll be so numb and like they'll be in pain because they're having surgery. And I did not want that for myself, but they didn't do that with this when I had a C-section. They didn't do that. I wasn't put to sleep. What they did was up the dosage of the epidural, and I just was numb from like the waist down, or like a little bit above my belly button to down to my feet. I was numb. I couldn't move or anything like that. But yeah, after he was born, I was so excited, and I'm thinking, the worst is over. The worst was yet to come. But this is another story. After he was born, his sugar levels was low, and his platelet count. So he had to be taken to the NICU. But that's another story for a different day. If you guys want to know about that story, I can, post that video or make a video about that story if you guys want to know that. But yeah, this is the little testimony about having a baby. Like, don't give up. Like, I'm 29 years old. I've been wanting a baby since I was like 20. And I was one of those people who would see everybody having a baby, and I would get sad because I wasn't having a baby. And now I got a baby. I got a little baby. I got a little baby. Little baby tail self. Little baby tail self. So yeah, so don't give up, guys, and also trust God. Like, when you follow God, like I'm a prime example. Even though I had forgotten about even though having a baby was put out of my mind after I started seeking God, I was seeking God. And when you seek God, He will give you the desires of your heart, and I am a testimony of that. I am a prime testimony of that, you guys. I could not have a baby to save my life until I started seeking God, and now I have a baby. So remember, God will give you the desires of your heart. You just have to seek Him, and you have to have faith. You have to have faith. Like, I knew that I would eventually have a baby, but it just wasn't happening when I wanted it. But it happened when I needed it. And I'm so thankful for that. And I just want you guys to know, like I said, seek God and He will give you the desires of your heart. I promise you that. And I hope you guys have a blessed day. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in another video.